Good morning, everyone. This is Robert Paltz. Want to offer a happy new year to all my subscribers and appreciate your time that you're spending with me. Uh, while I set this up, okay, there we go. Today we're going to talk about my process for breaking brick walls. Uh, this is the 2025 revision. There's been a lot of changes to it. I'm doing this for the YouTube subscribers because I've done it for some of the groups I'm in. Um, so it's the workflow, and I'm using how I use RootsMagic and Zotero and to take and do it. Okay. Disclaimer: I'm neither a professional nor an expert genealogist, just an amateur genealogist, just like you. Been doing this since 1992. I try not to delete my errors from the videos, but show you how I recover. I expect you to be a proofreader and in the comments make suggestions for other ways of accomplishing what I'm doing. That it's a collaborative effort, and I hope to learn something too. I have, in fact, from my subscribers, and I appreciate it. I also do videos for those that have responded I go too fast, because it's always different places where I go too fast. And that's there so they can take and stop it and rewind it and figure out what I'm doing. That seems to be getting good feedback that that's working. All views expressed are mine. I'm a member of 7 genealogy and historical societies currently. Probably add a couple more this year and drop a couple off. But I'm not. I don't represent any of them. I'm not on the staff or any of them. I do help administer two named Facebook sites, the Bose site and the Kern site. If you're interested in those families, please join those organizations. I'd be glad to see you there. Today's goal is to give you an outline of how I've evolved the process of responding to requests for help to break down brick walls. A number of societies I'm a member of have brick wall sessions where members bring their brick walls, and the group crowdsources possible sources. And this is how I've evolved my personal response. The benefit of crowdsourcing is that everyone has a different approach, and one might just hit the target and help this person. In this document, I use Patron for the individual with the brick wall. I use research subject for the individual that the patron's researching that's in the brick wall. I always remember the Catherine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy when I'm doing this. They had a movie called Death Set, and in it they have a one script on do not assume. And if someone says something that says they're searching ancestry, it does not necessarily mean they use the same methods or approach their family history research in the same way you would have done. The value of crowdsourcing is that you have access to 6 to 10 different approaches to family research, so you can take them and see different ways of doing things. This is the research steps. First one is to collect the data, and that can be done by the crowdsource in this process. You ordered in a timeline. That can be done by the crowdsource group or by the patron person. I generally do it myself and feed it to the patron. Analyze the data to accept, reject, or unknown. That's got to be a patron responsibility because they know this person and they know the situation, so they have to make the assessment. Filling out the assessment, which is an ideal situation I'd like to see done by more people. That would make a good research log. Needs to be done by the patron. And then feedback to the crowd to improve the crowd process, the crowdsourcing process. Is very important. And I do get feedback from time to time. Brick wall process. The ideal is the input to the brick wall would be the name, dates, locations, research log, but a typical input turns out to be part of the name, birth date plus or minus 10 years, possible locations, and no research log. In this case, we had a man and one of his wife's names, their birth and death dates, and some of the locations. The brick wall was who was his father. and they also wanted more of his details. In the example that I'm using today is George Washington Thornberry, and you can see the data that we had for him. That's what we started with. Okay. Okay, the first thing to do is to take and enter the data in the RootsMagic database, and then use RootsMagic to identify the family search idea, and then use the RootsMagic jump function to take and go to there. So let me show you how to do that. If you're entering the data in a new database, when you pop on the person, it'll pop up like this, and you just fill in that data. I've already done that to save time. Here's George Washington Thornburg. And to take and go to Family Search, to take and link him to Family Search and find his Family Search ID, you click here. Pops up on the other side, of course, and it comes up like this. Now, while we're here, I'm going to do one more thing, and I'll explain later on why I'm going to do that. I'm going to search for more matches and bring that up. And this is all the matches that match that name. You have duplicate names out there. And even though this is the same person, it looks like it's been entered in twice. And this one looks like the same person. It looks like it's been entered in that has separate numbers. So anyway, later on, I will take and cut this off and store it, and then enter each one of these names and start going through their data to take and see if these are duplicate people and are their sources have been misplaced. Okay, so we're going to choose the one with Jennifer Waller. Okay, and that would be this one here. And you then match to Family Search. Okay, and now we can close that. So we want to take and go next to jump to. You come down here. This was, by the way, a right click, jump to, and go to Family Search. And here we are, George Washington. Okay, now let's go back to the presentation. So that's these 3 steps. Okay. Okay. Using the Zotero connector, enter the person side on the Zotero and notice the filing structure. Okay. The first thing you want to do is save this person. So you come up here, you click that, and then that's the search for this person. And then you use this form, Family Search ID, and then you put the ID in here. And I'll show you how to get the ID real fast in a minute. And this is the individual's information. This comes down from Family Search. Okay. So while we're here on George, we go over here. We click on that, and the ID is copied. Really nice feature that Family Search put in recently, and probably a year ago. And I use it all the time. Okay, that's how you do it. That will bring it into Zotero. And here he is right here. Okay. So that'll bring it in there. You'll have his information. So you can take and click on this at any point in time and go back to him. Okay. All righty. Where's my presentation? There. Got too many slides and screens going on. Okay. That was that. Okay. Brick wall process. In the Family Search, go to the sources. Okay. And then take and bring them down and then file them in date order. Okay. So let's, we want this. Okay. The sources is this screen over. You'll see he has 9 sources on him. One of which is already open, but shouldn't be. Let's see if I can get, okay. This is what you'll normally see. And when I play around with these things, all kinds of things happen. This is a California death index. When I looked at it, it's the death index for one of his children. Okay, if you want to see the details of this, You bring it up this way. Now I hit this, and you've got the event date right here, 1959, so you can take and put that in. He was born in Oklahoma, um, and his name was Isaac. Okay. Um, anyway, I copied this to a note that I attached to um, uh, the entry in Zotero, and I copied this to a second note. So let's see how that works. Okay, let's get up here where I have a couple of these open and ready for us to look at. Oh, well, I had gone on and done something else in the meantime. Okay. So bringing down the 1850 census. So you have it, and it looks like this. And I put the date in front of it. It doesn't have the date in it. You have to add that on. You do that by going in here like this, clicking there, and adding the date in. Okay. This is the stuff that I cut and paste from the site into this note. Now, if you've forgotten how to make a note, you just come over here, make a note. Okay. So that's the first note. The second note is the source citation. Okay. Now, in some cases, like when I do the text full text search, this is a full text search example, and this is the full transcript of the full text search, and this is the summary of the full text search. Okay. So when I talk about attaching notes, these are the notes. That's the full note. This is the summary note, and this is the source citation. So examples of them. All righty. Add notes as needed. There's the notes I'm adding. Okay. So I hit transcript, summary, source, and then later add an assessment note there for how this was disposed of. Okay. Most all the information comes on there except for the date, and I add that. Okay. That puts it in timeline order in Zotero. 8. Using the RootsMagic interface with Family Search, expand the individual search to identify records for individuals that may be duplicates or source. So I showed you how to do that, and using the RootsMagic just a minute ago. That was this. Oops. Let's see. It should be this way. That was this chart here. Here's where I had cut it. Did a screen capture, and I have all these numbers here. Okay. And as sources have been attached to the incorrect method. So I go through each one of those individuals and enter their sources in the timelines on here. So they need to be looked at to take and see if they're there, see if they are this person or they have been misfiled, or if they belong to somebody else. Okay. To help with that process, I'll do some other tools here in a minute. I will show you. Okay, brick wall process. Using Family Search full text search, enter the name, dates, and locations. Okay, I showed you the example of the full text search. Let's go to home. This is the Family Search home page. If you haven't used full text search, I have a video on it, and I'm not going to go into much detail today. You enter it through this down on the right. This is a beta test, so it's not released for full use yet. You go to the experiment, and you enter the name here, and the date range if you wish. Variations of the name you need to put in there. You need to do this search. And look what they have added. Look at all the records they have added. Most of these are in the last 90 days. I mean, we have British records, we have German records, there's Czech records, there's Denmark records, El Salvador records, England records, biographies from Ghana, I mean, Hawaii, Ireland, Isle of Man, Maine, you know, all kinds of stuff. I'm finding all kinds of stuff in here that here's Oklahoma Wills and Deeds, which would apply to this individual. Pakistan, Panama. Now you can choose a specific one. I find that searching all of them is the best approach. And so then I've taken both those in, and I showed you just a minute ago. Let's go back to Zotero, how I had stored that. Da-da-da-da. Well, so this was a full text search. Let's go back to info just so you can see it. So it's a deed. And it goes back to if you double click on this, this will go to that deed. So when I'm looking for the full transcript here, first off, I hit this over here. I don't know why that's not showing today. Family search is not, it should show the graphics over here. So this generates the summary. This little arrow right here will generate an AI summary of the document. And here's George again, right here. And then down below is the AI generated text for that document. You notice how it's nicely highlighted and so on. Okay, I capture all that and put it right into Zotero. And you'll see it. Here's the summary, and here's the detail. Okay. All right. So that gives that summary. Remember, we're developing this for somebody else to take and go make an assessment on whether this is really good or not. 10, using the RootsMagic search function. Number 3, search the sites. Okay. This is an automated search function that RootsMagic has built in. And I use this for searching people's records especially for this type of work. Okay, this is what the page looks like. You come to this page. You have to have this person highlighted that you're going to be searching on. Then you come to this page, and there are a number of search providers up here that are already programmed in. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this in my situation and add some more databases in there that I'd like to search. So since we've been playing around with family search, let's do family search and show you what it looks like. Now you want to click this show results in external video. And so that will bring it up in your browsers. If you don't do that, have that clicked, you can't use the Zotero connector to bring this information in. And so you can take and go through. This is search. Now this is different than a catalog search. If you do a catalog search on family search, you'll get a different set of results. And I did a catalog search also in addition to this search. And I did it on Ancestry also. I have an Ancestry subscription. It'll be running out in about 3 or 4 days. Maybe it's running out right now. But anyway, so I did searches there for that. And so you got to go work through all those. Now that search is captured, so the individual can take and go back to that when I give them the report. Next thing, okay, I did the same thing. I do the same thing. These are my favorite. Yeah, come on, quit playing around with me. Brick wall process. I use it for a gateway to Oklahoma because a lot of the work that I do is in Oklahoma. National Archives, Chronicling America, Family Search card catalog, Ancestry card catalog. You need to add your own databases, the ones that your favorite. If you're working in an area and you have a database that you particularly like I like the Browning database in Evansville, Indiana, and Northern Kentucky and Illinois. You need to add those databases to this search, and then go through the same process entering the data into the thing to Zotero. The family search, full text search. These were the results that I had. Now, I have a better view of that. Let's see if I can get you that. I remember where it's at. There it is. So that's a better view of how many hits I got and what I used as my search criteria. I like to call that the algorithm, the search algorithm. You can see from this chart, there's a lot of room to take and go back to some of these and do some of these other searches on them. GW search generated 129, and a lot of those looked very promising. When I showed them to the patron, she was quite excited about just having that. This needs to be more refined. There's two down here that need an account. This is where the RootsMagic searches. They do Ancestry, Bing, Family Search, Find a Grave, Find My Past, Fold 3, Genealogy Bank, Google, My Heritage, and Yahoo. Did a National Archive search. I did Gateway to Oklahoma, the Percy. I also did, you'll see it in there, a couple other searches, which for some reason or other I didn't put into the chart. Okay. Using the RootsMagic. Okay, now this is a neat. Remember when I did this? I got all these numbers here, and I built them in. I built them in. I captured all these numbers. Okay, now I went to RootsMagic. I go to people, and first off, I'm going to need a number. So let's go up here and let's get George Thornburg. There. Wait a minute. There we go. There, I have the number there. I click on that. It copies the ID. So I've got that on my clipboard. I come down here in the lower left corner, push on that, push on this, put this in here, put this in here. That's the ID I just captured. I like to have only 4. If you do 10, which is the default, it takes forever. So I want to import the data. And like they say, this could take a while. And it's going through, and import's complete. It imported 2 families into the database. Now, like I said, this is my composite database. It's not my research database. If I was doing this, the patron would need to build a research database and use this. By doing that, I have collected for this patron 1,968 hits, 955 families, 5,761 events for people. So you can see here for George, these are the events that are in there. Now, none of the sources came down and using that process. So you have to go back to the site and do the processes, do the sources, like I've been doing. But it does fill this up. You can now use this database to separate out the different George Washington Thornburgs, and you saw how many there were. I actually didn't count them, but I would say there's 20 to 30 in there, and so that you can use this process for that. Okay. So now you've got 2 tools that you've developed for this patron. Okay, deliverables to the patron. Okay. Well, the first deliverable we're going to do is going to be basically a research log. Where did I go and what did I look at? And how did I note the notes down? You do that by generating right here. And Windows. And then you go up. Well, Zoom didn't help me any there. Anyway, you go up here and you do save. And when you do that, you get a document that's an HTML document. And what did I do with it? do, 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 do. There it is. It looks like this. Now, I've taken a couple of things. I removed a couple of things here because they had people's information in them that I didn't want to share with the public. Okay, so this has got everything on it. You give this to the patron, and now he can take and go to that record by clicking on this, open in a new tab. I did a right click to do that, and that will open in a new tab. And there's the document. Okay, this happens to be a full text search document. So here's the transcript, and of course the summary you can do over here. So you give this to the patron, and they can walk off and evaluate what these are. They can go through here and edit this material. This is HTML document. It'll open up in most of the word processors, so they can go through here. They can put a note in here how they're going to take and dispense with this. They can, since it's an open source document, they can take and add additional things to it, although it's not as easy to add stuff in a word processor as it is with Zotero. So this is the kind of stuff that I brought down using this process, and then am providing to the patron so they can take and analyze the document. So you'll see there's quite a few full text searches in here. There's a lot of individual records that are in here, and they're in chronological order because we put the file name up here, and this thing sorts by that name, by that file name. And so I think they call it the title in Zotero. Just Zotero terminology is difficult for me at times. So I do year, month, day, and now line it up in chronological order. And so you can see the different stuff that I use that process for, and then gave this to the patron. The patron is very happy with this list of additional places to go look at and information to add or analyze. And maybe perhaps we will actually break the brick wall. We'll see if that works. They need to get back to us and tell us if we did. There are certainly some opportunities in here for breaking right through that wall. I'm going to page down through it so you get a full view. There's the marriage license. So this was just cut and paste. One of the key advantages of doing this is it's very fast. A good portion of this, what you're seeing now, was done during the meeting. Now, I did do stuff after the meeting, but this is less than 8 hours worth of work, going over 2 days in my spare time. So I want to get down to show you something that doesn't have a date on it. So you can see some of the other types of records. We're at 1950 now. 67. Okay. There was a book in the Ancestry group called The History of the Thornburg Family, and I did a number of searches on that. You can see what the searches were and how many hits were in it. This is what the searches were. I put the searches in there, so I know what my search algorithm is. If I say, did I search on that? Of course, I did a summary sheet this time too, and that I may use that more often. Okay, and there's where I found the album originally. Here's how to get back to the Family Search catalog results. There's a Fort Smith marriage license that didn't have a date on it, so it ended up freeform out here. There's probably I can dig down and do it. Now here's the individual people. This is the as I showed you, there's about 30 people that have individual family search IDs. And you need to be able to separate those people out. And so this is the individual files for the individual people. Here's the one that we think is most likely. But there are several right around the same time frame. And so it might be interesting to put these in birth order. That might be something to experiment with and see what kind of trouble I get into with that. So anyway, these are the people. Now let's move on down. Here's the full text search results. So you click on that and you're going to full text search. And so this is the searches for the full text search. And so you can see up here, this is the GW. It got 129. Well, that was a good choice. So you can see divorce records. There were a lot of divorce records in here. School records, West Virginia guardianship records, more divorce records, most documented divorce I've ever seen. Arkansas marriage records, Missouri genealogies, West Virginia, Iowa probate records. All types of records are being added to the full text search. Okay, and that was these are the different full text searches that were done. So all they got to do is click on them and they can go to it. Here's a gateway to Oklahoma. Okay, goes right to the newspapers that were there for that search. Archives, National Archives. There were no hits on it. Let's see. Here we go. Here's another. This is a 3 hits on this. So they must be buried in the documentation, the National Archives. National Archives uses an AI to do there. Here's the Percy Index. And it wasn't as nice. It didn't save the whole thing. It just went to Percy. So I did search. Oh, I didn't put down. I need to think about doing that. Okay, and here's the RootsMagic ancestry search, and that comes up looking like that. Okay, and it looks like my subscription has expired because it's now they're doing it. Here's the Bing search in RootsMagic. And there's Google in there and everything, quite a bit in RootsMagic. I think RootsMagic is the last document. Okay, going back to this. Okay, the brick wall process. The patron will review the timeline, elements, and accept, reject, or unknown them. If they do that, if they put accept in the front of the name, like rejected, like that, all the rejects will be lined up in one group with the timeline below it. If they put accepted, all the accepted will be lined up in a timeline, and then the unknown will all be lined up in a timeline type thing. And it would be ideal for the patron to take and feed back to the crowdsourced group what he's doing. Notes. I fully intend to add National Archives, Library Edition of FO3, Gateway to Oklahoma, Chronicling America, Browning Database to this search, the RootsMagic search function. I don't know how to do that in the current version. I did it in version 7, I believe. If you have any videos or guides to help me with this process, I'd appreciate it. That's the collaborative part of these presentations. Types of entries in Zotero. 0000. This is the original information provided by the patron. I use that to take and put it at the top of the timeline so I can find it every time. I know where it's at. Then the events are done by year, month, day. I kept the chat. I took that out. You didn't see it because that has people's names in it, and they probably wouldn't appreciate it in there. But I took the chat from the Zoom meeting and put that in there so that it's available to the patron. It's also available to me. As I showed you for those 30 people, I use Family Search ID at the front end and then their Family Search ID. So they're all stacked up. And then the search results for the different search databases are in there. So they can go straight to that and see what I saw. And perhaps change the algorithm. Because they've got with this, they've got a chart now with the algorithm. Associated videos, genealogy research workflow using Zotero for research logs and family search data. Been a popular one of my videos. It's basically this process, but not as detailed as this is. How I use family search full text search beta. That's a year old now. I actually showed you more today than I planned on showing you, and so it's a pretty good update to that video. How to use family search view relationship feature. I showed you how to do that. If I didn't, I don't know, remember. Let's go here to George. You just go right here and click this. And I may have missed that. And he's the husband of my 12th cousin 4 times removed. In the family search world tree, if you trust that tree, and some people don't. There's a good argument for not trusting it. But it's kind of interesting to give you some hints of where to take and look for stuff. Okay, here's my contact information. Please subscribe and give a thumbs up. That's all important to me. Don't make a nickel off of this stuff, but it's good to take and see the people who are using it because it takes me about 4 hours to build one of these. I will respond to emails, but it just takes me a while. Please email additional topics you think I should take, or put it down in the comments. I've turned comments on now. Thank you for your time and reviewing my channel. I really appreciate it. I've learned as much as you have. I'm not really a teacher, just a user out here. There goes my phone. You have a great day.